Rain pounded the recovery center windows as Sister Mary entered the empty waiting room. Her footsteps echoed on linoleum floor as she asked the nurse, "No one showed up?" The nurse shook her head sadly. Suddenly, the door burst open quite violently today. A man in his 30s stumbled inside, eyes bloodshot, hands trembling uncontrollably now. His clothes were filthy from street living. "I don't want to be here," he screamed. He punched the wall with his fist. Sister Mary approached slowly and very calmly. "What's your name, son?" she asked softly, extending her hand toward him kindly today. "Marco," he muttered, refusing eye contact, ashamed of his terrible condition right now completely. "I'm Sister Mary. Would you sit and talk with me for just one brief moment?" Marco laughed bitterly, his voice cracking with accumulated pain and deep disappointment over years. "A nun? What could you possibly know about my life and all these problems today?" "You'd be surprised," she replied mysteriously, gesturing toward nearby comfortable window chairs here. Marco hesitated, then sat down. His leg bounced nervously from withdrawal symptoms hitting him hard. "I've been clean 3 days," he admitted reluctantly, wiping cold sweat from his forehead. "That's excellent, Marco. Every journey begins with one single brave step forward into hope. Easy for you to say. You've never done anything wrong in your entire life." Sister Mary grew quiet, her eyes distant as painful memories flooded back into her consciousness. 20 years ago, I sat in a chair exactly like yours, Marco, feeling hopeless." Marco looked up sharply, confusion written across his weathered, exhausted face completely and totally. "I was 18, living on Chicago streets, shooting heroin into my veins every day." The shocking words hit Marco like lightning. He stared at her in complete disbelief. "You're lying. There's no way a holy sister was ever involved in that lifestyle." Sister Mary rolled up her sleeve, revealing faded but unmistakable track marks very clearly. Marco's mouth fell open as reality of her confession slowly sank in very deeply. "My real name is Maria Santos. I grew up in poverty with abusive stepfather. I ran away at 16, lived in abandoned buildings with homeless kids everywhere possible. Drugs were my escape from hunger, cold, fear, and constant pain of loneliness every day." Marco leaned forward, hanging on every word of her incredible transformation story unfolding now. "What happened? How did you end up here, wearing robes and helping people like me?" "One night, I overdosed in an alley behind a church during terrible winter storm. Father Rodriguez found me unconscious, near death, covered in snow, barely breathing at all. He could have called police or walked away, but instead carried me inside safely. For 3 months, I lived in church basement, detoxing and slowly learning about hope." Marco's eyes filled with tears as her story resonated deep within his wounded soul. "But why become a nun? Why dedicate your entire life to this service work?" "Because someone saw worth in me when I saw none, Marco. That changed everything. Father Rodriguez never judged me, never made me feel ashamed of past mistakes completely. He showed me redemption isn't perfection, but choosing love over fear every day." Marco wiped his eyes, his tough exterior beginning to crack and crumble completely now. "I've hurt so many people. My family won't speak to me anymore, unfortunately. Love doesn't have expiration dates, Marco. Families heal when hearts are ready to change. But I've stolen from them, lied countless times, broken every promise I made. I stole a gold cross from the altar where I now pray every morning." Marco stared amazed, unable to believe this gentlewoman's incredibly dark past history completely. "Guilt nearly killed me, but Father Rodriguez taught me about grace and forgiveness daily. He said our past doesn't define future unless we choose remaining prisoners there. Some days I struggle with shame, but remember how far I've traveled successfully." Marco nodded slowly, understanding beginning to dawn in his tired, weary eyes finally today. "Do you think someone like me could change and become a better person?" "Marco, If God can turn addict into someone helping others heal, anything's possible. The question isn't whether you can change, but if you're ready for journey. Marco looked out rain-streaked window, watching drops race down glass surface very slowly. I'm scared, Sister Mary. What if I fail again, like so many times before? Failure isn't falling down, Marco. It's refusing to get back up again. Every person in recovery has fallen multiple times. Success measured in attempts, not perfection. Marco took deep breath, feeling something shift inside his heart for first time. Will you help me? I don't know how to do this alone anymore. Sister Mary smiled warmly, same smile once offered to her years ago gracefully. That's why I'm here, Marco. Nobody walks this path completely alone anymore. She reached into pocket, pulled out small wooden cross, worn smooth by years. Father Rodriguez gave this to me 20 years ago. Now I'm giving it. Marco accepted cross with trembling hands, feeling its weight and love behind it. When you feel like using, hold this and remember you're not who you were. You're becoming who you're meant to be, one day at a time, with grace. 6 months later, Marco stood at same recovery center. Everything had changed completely. He was clean, eyes bright, wearing clean clothes and helping newcomers find their way. Sister Mary, called young woman who had just entered, shaking and afraid today. This is Marco, Sister Mary said with pride. He'll help you get started. Marco smiled and extended his hand, remembering his own first terrifying day here clearly. What's your name? He asked gently, just as Sister Mary had asked him. As young woman began sharing her story, Sister Mary watched from across room. 2 broken souls, now healing others, proof that redemption creates ripples of hope. The rain had stopped, and sunlight streamed through windows, illuminating faces warmly. In that moment, the cycle of healing continued, one conversation at precious time. Marco placed his hand on young woman's shoulder, offering same comfort he'd received. I understand your pain, he said softly, but I promise you're not alone. Sister Mary closed her eyes in prayer, thanking God for miracles of transformation. She remembered her own first day, scared and broken, just like these 2. Now she watched as love multiplied, spreading from one heart to another endlessly. The wooden cross passed from Father Rodriguez to her, from her to Marco. Soon it would pass again, carrying hope to another soul in darkness. This was the miracle of redemption, broken people healing other broken people. Each story of transformation became beacon of hope for next person always. Sister Mary smiled, knowing that in this room, miracles happened every day. The cycle of healing continued, one conversation and one choice at time. Love had won again, just as it always does when given chance. Marco looked back at Sister Mary, gratitude shining in his clear eyes brightly. Thank you for seeing who I could become instead of who I was. Sister Mary nodded, her heart full, watching 2 lives being transformed completely today. In Recovery Center, surrounded by hope, 3 souls had found their purpose clearly. The rain outside had stopped, but inside, healing waters continued flowing freely. This was just beginning of countless stories of redemption, yet to come. Sister Mary knew every person who walked through doors carried incredible potential always. All they needed was someone to believe in them when they couldn't. Marco had learned this lesson well, and now he was teaching it. The wooden cross would continue its journey, carrying hope from heart to heart. In that moment, surrounded by love and possibility, everything felt perfectly complete. The Recovery Center had become a place where miracles happened daily, transforming lives completely. The wooden cross gleamed softly in afternoon sunlight, symbol of endless hope.